Hello
Hey,
and
I
good
know
evening. I
that's the
know that's
truth.
right.
Yes, I know that's the truth.
That is the truth.
Yes, the
Good
truth
evening.
behind the
The truth
truth.
behind the truth. Yes. Good evening,
Yes,
everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the
the
truth
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 behind
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 the
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 truth.
truth.
truth. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes. An
yes,
exciting, exciting night. I am
yes.
really thrilled and glad to be here. We have such wonderful guests going to be joining us this evening, so it's exciting. And then on a somber note, we were taking the time to also celebrate Tina Turner. Okay, I mean, she
Ooh.
did a transition, of course, this week. Most of you know about. So we'll be celebrating her real
Yeah.
briefly and just kind of talk about what impact she's had on each of our lives and our history buff here. We'll give you a little
Yeah.
background on her life with Ike. You know, but without Ike, it could never been a Tina. I mean, you have
No,
to look at it that
no.
way. So you have to look at it that way in the scope of it. I hope you guys like the little opening.
Yes.
Dedicating a little few minutes today.
Woo.
That was,
And
so
to think that they created that in the dressing room.
Right,
Y'all see a clip of that when they were creating that in the dressing room when she was with the Ikettes and they were like in the dressing room and they had the rollers in and they had ropes on and they were like and they were doing the movements in the dressing room. Literally. They were just in the dressing room just going over the steps to that.
Wow.
It's on Instagram and some other social media platforms, but to have that footage and them doing and seeing what they created in the dressing room on that stage,
Right.
that is something powerful.
I mean,
That's
you talk
powerful.
about on the spot choreography.
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of these people get into training for weeks and weeks and weeks, and she just threw stuff together and stepped out there and went for it. I mean, just remarkable. I mean, just remarkable. But before we dig into Tina, real quick, just want to remind you guys definitely to subscribe and like. Okay, subscribe and like. It's real simple. Go to either one of them. We got like 4 different pages out here for y'all to go to. Y'all need to be subscribing and like on every one of them pages.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you will get notification when the show goes live. Okay, that's another important thing. I know a lot of you guys have been missing it. Whatever the case may be, but you got to do that. Okay, and the main way, if you're on Facebook, you have to go over to the truth behind the authentic truth. To be able to get the live at that particular point in time. I try to remind you from my page. I know everybody else tries to remind you that, but that's where you have to go to get the live, okay? Because as you know, last year we got compromised, and unfortunately, we had to change that particular page. So, and then also we are on Twitter, okay? If you are on Twitter, go to the Truth Behind the Truth page, go there, like it, and then basically on the Twitter page, it just has the feed of the shows, okay? So you can go there and see us live, and most importantly, you can go to YouTube, TTBTT. In any YouTube search will take you there if you're trying to look for the show, as well. Okay. So we're there. Once you subscribe and like the show, you'll definitely get the notification every time we go live. Also, want to remind you guys, okay, you have a way to support us, okay, that we have Cash App available for you. It is just simply on your Cash App application. Just type in The Truth Behind the Truth. It'll take you right there and send that cash. So we can be cash. Okay, send that cash so we can be a happy app. Okay, and then also we're also on Venmo. If you take a moment, depends on how you're watching the show at this point, you can always utilize the QR code that's available there for you as well on Venmo. All right, love you guys and thank you for all of your support. Those of you who have been with us forever, today, 6 weeks, a month, and a year. We want you to keep that same time frame going. All right, Parnell, how you doing?
As I say, feel free to give to the cause rent is due.
Okay, I know that's right.
Y'all had to excuse me. This little mama here was begging attention and stuff. And she's in heat right now, so I got to keep putting this damn diaper on her.
Oh wow! So you don't have a spade that did, huh?
No, we were going to get her spayed after the last heat that she went into, and it was like, okay, yeah, procrastination,
right?
And here it is again. It's like, God fucking we gotta do this again. But after this one,
yeah, you don't want to be a granddad yet, do you? A granddad of many.
Yes, I'm just like, no more puppies. But it's always me chasing her around trying to put this. I'm like, how do you come out of this diaper so quick? And she does this little trick. I know it's ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but she does this little thing where her tail will get down in the little diaper and push it off. And next thing I know, it's on the floor somewhere. She's running around. I'm like, no.
Oh no, yeah. Then that could be a little messy with them. Yeah, it could be definitely a little messy.
I'm like, bitch, if you don't sit your
Raising children and pets.
Welcome. Glad to see you tonight.
How you doing?
Glad to see you tonight. Yes. All right, well, let's go ahead and dig in. Let's
talk about Miss Tina.
You want to talk about Miss Tina first, or you want to talk about Color Purple first?
Well, let's talk about Miss Tina since we now. It's so surprising that she has transitioned, but it's But this woman has lived a fabulous life.
She has.
And you know what? And one of the things I can say about Tina Turner is her courageous go for all, free for all living. Because she came from such humble beginnings. Right. The daughter of two sharecroppers, in Nutbush, Tennessee, which is a few hours outside of Memphis.
Right.
And because of the situation with her mother and her father and the separation and and her having to live with her grandmother and moving to St. Louis when her, when that kind of, died down with her mother. And, and we all know about the story of her, joining Ike's band, and, and Ike Turner was a very serious musician of his time. He was one of the architects of rock and roll. One of the architects. Okay. Nobody gives him that credit, but he was. And his hit was Rocket 88.
Right.
But, I always said Tina was an athlete before she was an entertainer. She played basketball.
Wow.
Played basketball and cheerleading, so she was an athlete turning into an entertainer.
Okay.
But because of the situation with Ike, she joined Ike's band in high school, graduated. Now and after the situation, she had a hit with Ike, A Fool in Love,
right? Okay.
And they got married, and we all know that relationship and how that went down. But the importance of the Ike and Tina review of the 60s, it was totally different from everything that as Black entertainers that they were used to of that time period. Because you think about the Supremes, Motown Sound, Della Reese, and all of those entertainers who were just stylized, glamorized, sophisticated. You have this lady with these legs running out on that stage with all that hair and just going.
Right.
That was new and that was fresh. And because of it, Janis Joplin and a lot of other people like the Rolling Stones, they were inspired. They were absolutely inspired by this new way of entertainment.
Right.
And because of it, the marriage and all that, we're not gonna go into it, but the abuse and everything. But Tina really survived a situation that was just very crazy, and because of it, she went on. She did positive things in the 80s. She was 40 when she made that comeback. She was over the hill when she made her comeback. What's Love Got to Do with it? But it's just her story. It's just so inspiring. What do you? I mean.
Well, no, you said about. Go ahead, Parnell.
Yes, Parnell.
I was just like, go D, give it. It was very interesting because it's one of those things that when our icons start leaving us, especially those that have been here our entire lives.
Right, exactly.
Like we all grew up knowing, Tina Turner. It's like, if you were born anywhere between, 1958 and, and you've heard Tina Turner's name, you've heard her music, you've seen her. So when it's time for them to pass on to the next realm, it's like, oh, there's a sadness, but she left such a legacy.
Yes, she did.
I saw a clip of with her and Beyonce when they were performing together. And Beyonce at her concert recently, she was just saying, it's like, if there had not been a Tina Turner, there would not be a Beyonce.
That's true.
So people are giving their flowers to the legends who really made it. I mean, that was the first Black female rock and roll queen. She set that standard. Yeah.
She's always had, I know I've shared it with him, that had a sentimental moment for me because my parents just adored, them. Every time they turned around, it was just like constantly talking about them, So I grew up with Tina Turner, just in the vibe, like you said, Parnell. And it was just so awesome, and to see that in the involvement, even though I was probably numb to the abuse that she experienced during that time frame because, life had moved on. But at the end of the day, to see that involvement and how she kept pressing and pressing and pressing, to that right connection happened, But here's the thing. Let's take a quick shift in her spirituality, because that's when she identified as her change had came, when she identified to who she was created to be.
That's right.
And the people have a different way of approaching their understanding of God. Okay. At the end of the day, but I'm gonna tell you, her approach got her results. Okay, so if the way you worship, I don't want to get into that too deep, but if the way you worship ain't bringing you no results, you need to check about the God you serve.
That's
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna move on.
That's right. That's right.
You know, but it did. It honestly, it really did. So as we know, she moved into the '80s and just remarkable comeback.
Oh yes.
I mean, just totally the hair and the sexiness, and you said the legs. You know, and to the point about her legs, she had actually she had her legs insured. Because if anything ever happened to her legs, she would get super paid, you know, from that. So that was a wise move because she was rated the best legs next to, who was that? Betty Grable, I think it was.
Yeah, Betty Grable.
Yeah, her and Betty Grable had the best 2 legs ever, you know. So which was really, you know, I mean, really awesome to know that, you know. I mean, at the end of the day. So again, we really salute her life, you know. We salute her legacy. You know, and what she has really left behind, as so many people, and hopefully these younger artists will, mold themselves after, you know, and that commitment to the craft. But go ahead.
One thing I would like to say, and we're gonna go on to the next topic. One thing I admired about her was her truthfulness about the fact that the United States is not the only place for you as an artist to expand your base.
Good point.
She made it clear to Larry King. She said, when I decided to go to Europe, that was for the simple fact of where I was needed and where I was wanted. Now, she said, if I would have stayed in the U.S., I would have been in Las Vegas somewhere, but that's not what I wanted.
Right.
And she knew her worth as an entertainer.
Right.
So she knew that in order for her to be as Tina Turner, she was going to have to get out of the U.S. Right. And I'm so tired of Black artists, and you know who I'm talking about, who seem to always want to make themselves only accessible within the U.S. I always tell people, that's the worst thing you can do as an artist. You got to expand your base. But hey, that is what it is. But
true. I mean, she moved herself to Switzerland and never looked back.
Yeah, never look back.
And never look back. So, you know, hey, y'all, sometimes you need to exit.
But congratulations to Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
Yes.
But the Little Mermaid is number one all over the world. Yes.
And it's expected to do well over 100 million before the weekend is over. You know, great timing to bring it out. And and it's good. And it's, I don't mean to cut you off. And it's good to see that the masses are appreciating the Mermaid of color. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's bigotry behind the scenes. Of course, they're going to be out there anyway. But even to them, okay, you bigots, okay, you can't stop progression, baby. Okay, you might as well just change the way you see things because hey, life is going to evolve. Whether you want to stay in your bigotry or not, life is going to evolve, and you can just be left back there, and you can die in your bigotry. Okay, but we're gonna move on.
Yeah, but this is the year because she's got a new one, the remake of The Color Purple that's coming out in December. Yes. I'll look out for her on that one and Fantasia.
So talking about The Color Purple, guys, did you see the trailer? Oh my gosh! I wish we could have gotten. Maybe next week we will try to sneak a clip of that. Show it. It's really, really good. I mean, and it's all on social, and it's actually on television too, guys. So if you watch network television, it was on the other night. Monday night it started showing. So the involvement of a Color Purple fan. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I've seen the play 6 times, but I don't.
Oh wow!
Don't shoot me down, okay? But I did. But I went with different people, so that was the thing. So that was why I saw it 6 times. Saw it with Fantasia, and originally I saw the original cast with LaChance, So I got all versions of The Color Purple, but I still adored it. The soundtrack, the original soundtrack was just phenomenal and whatever. So get yourself ready, okay, for December 25th, okay? And support The Color Purple. But anyway, let's move on because we got ready to go for a break. You got anything else real quick?
And one more thing, Tina Turner and Shaka Khan turned that role down a ceiling.
Really?
They did.
Wow.
They turned it down.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah, I remember that article that Tina was like, that's too close to home. I've already done it.
Yeah, well, there you go. That is definitely true. Yes. Well, all right, we got a quick break, okay? And from the quick break, we're going to come back with our wonderful guests this evening, which Parnell will tell us all about them when we come back and break. I'm so excited about these gentlemen. We're talking about fashion tonight, all right? And what you can do as men to get yourself look even better, because Father's Day, somebody's day, birthday, somebody's day coming up, all right? We want a wedding date or whatever, it's coming up, But anyway, we'll be right back from this break.
need a pickup, call Junk Stars. Yeah. If you need a dumpster or demolition, call Junk Stars. Yeah. Call 844-55-STARZ. Junk Stars. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Once again, want to thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight on our exciting fashion night. Man, this is going to be so good. But without further ado, I'm going to get out the way. Let Pernell talk.
Let me do my thing. Let me do your thing, honey. Okay,
yes.
Silly. All right. Our brothers from Armour Philadelphia. First up, we have our owner, David Grimes. After 20 years working in human resources for various Fortune 500 companies, Philly native David Grimes wanted more out of life. In 2013, he pursued his passion project and opened Armour to serve his hometown community. Since then, he's watched the brand flourish, now celebrating 10 years in business. And my homie, Eric Hatcher, is the creative director. He says, style is a journey. Harlem native who's worked in retail for over 2 decades, not 20 decades, he ain't that old. Serving as Armour's creative director since its inception in 2013. From day one, he's been everything from a merchandiser model to a salesman stylist and has loved every second of it. So y'all please welcome my friends, David Grimes and Eric Hatcher.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Good evening. Welcome.
I'm like, where's my friend Eric? Who's this trade up over here in these glasses? What's up, homie?
What's going on, baby?
It's good to see you guys. It's wonderful to have you all here on the show. I know we've been trying to make it happen for a little bit, getting everybody scheduled together. So I'm glad we're finally able to do it.
Yeah.
Very
excited. Glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us on too.
And you guys just had a pop-up recently.
Yeah, we just had a pop-up for Mother's Day. Well, actually, it was the weekend going right into Mother's Day. We were there for Friday and Saturday in a section of Philadelphia called Northern Liberties. And it was amazing. It was really a great turnout. Half of the weekend was rainy, but, people came out and they showed and they proved. And old faces, new faces, and a lot of introductions to new clientele. It's a different part of the city that we're used to. Mm-hmm. And it's certainly more targeted, to that specific neighborhood and people who are visiting. A lot of people who were graduating and just visiting up to Pennsylvania for the weekend, which is really great. We like that. Okay. It was fun. And we did so well that, we can talk about that later. We did so well that's a teaser.
I hear that.
So when did you guys get started? What was the background of everything? How you evolved? Was it did you guys come together as a meeting of mind when you got together, or was it kind of a plan in motion?
Well, it was actually David's brainchild because David was. I always like to say he was working in a really lovely job.
Okay,
he was very happy. But he wanted more, just like his bio reads. He wanted more. Yeah. And Armour is his passion project, and he can speak more to it.
Oh, yeah. So it's like Ariel, he wanted more. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in
there. So essentially, I like Eric had mentioned, I'd spent, several 20 plus years in corporate America, worked at various organizations in New York and Philly. Okay. And, I've always worked in HR compensation, very analytical. but I always wanted some. I wasn't really passionate about it, and
Right,
I felt like for me, one of the key things was like, what do I feel passionate about, and really trying to find that. And I've always liked the sense of shopping, clothing, and I remember growing up from Philly, being from Philly, seeing a lot of small independent menswear boutiques like in the 80s and 90s, and there were so many options as opposed to the mass big box stores that we're all familiar with.
Yes.
And so I felt Philly was lacking with that. And working in New York, I saw a lot of that happening in New York. And so I thought, hey, it would be great to really kind of open something like that again in the Philadelphia market, because I was also hearing that, like myself, a lot of guys from Philly would go to New York or DC when they would shop. And so again, why have to go out of town when you can have that option here in Philadelphia? Right. And so I realized again that, something that I felt like this really energized me. I felt really passionate about it. I actually went back to school. I took some courses at FIT in New York part-time, talked to people from various levels in the retail industry as well, who had a retail background, did my homework kind of deal. And then unfortunately, as far as, Eric being in my life as well as my partner, it was really great too that obviously he had a strong retail background and was very supportive. To his point initially, you hear someone say that, oh, I want to quit my job. I open up a menswear shop, having no specific retail background, initially. And there's some concern, but I think once he heard me talk about it, I did a whole business plan and we talked about the process and that kind of thing. He really rallied around and was a huge supporter in all aspects of opening it. So.
Okay. So for the both of you, I was reading an Andre Leon Talley, book, and I was watching his documentary the other night, and he said his inspiration for fashion came from his grandmother. Was there anybody within your immediate circle of family or friends that inspired you to go into this direction? What got you into wanting to do fashion or menswear?
It's really funny. I can remember as a little boy, and it's so funny because I feel like everybody has the same story or some variant of it. My mother pulling, because I used to hang out with my mom like a lot. Not that I was a mama's boy,
like me.
we were close. We were close before, everything, came on out, really, really close. But long story short, she used to take me with her to these little errands, and she liked to go shopping. And so we would be, let's say, going to pay a phone bill, but then we'd stop in all these little stores along the way. And she said, come on. We're just going to go in this little store right here really quick. And next thing I know, we're shopping for this and we're shopping for that. Juxtaposed to that experience, appreciating retail spaces, my dad and his father, my grandfather, they both liked to dress very, very well. They were always dressed to the nines. They always had a nice hat and a nice shirt and suit. They were clean, what people call back in the day sharp. Sharp as a tack.
Sharp, exactly. Yeah, sharp as a tack.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just part of my lineage, my history. And it did rub off on me. I have a passion and an intrigue about it, and a respect for it. It's transformative. So that's something that I really love the most about it. And I've adopted it in such a way that I've parlayed it into what's becoming a growing career for me. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, your story is really igniting an excitement for me because we're almost like mirroring each other. And in fact, because I'm seriously, my mom was the same way. And I mean, he knows. I mean, I could shop all the time. All right, because I love clothes. I mean,
it's cathartic.
And it was just a thing that watching my mom do it, and she was oh my God, very, very meticulous, but just a dresser. It's hard to say a woman dressing to the nines, but she was really just well respected in her choices and what she made, and and the investment that she made in fashion. It was just remarkable, and it rubbed off on me. Speaking of it, like you said, with your dad the same way. I mean, here's the thing: when my dad cleaned up, he cleaned up. He wasn't halfway in the middle. I mean, he worked hard at other things, but when him and my mom went out together, man, they were the bomb. you know. And I hate to see it. I'm going to let you guys go on with other conversations, but the what has happened to the market of fashion, typically young people or men, we have just kind of like gone the opposite direction in a lot of cases to, you know, putting that extra stamp on your fashion. You know, I believe in trends, but some trends are like need to go. But let's speak to that real quick. What do you guys feel about the trends and things like that out there now?
Well, David, what was your inspiration though? I was trying to see, David, what was your inspiration?
Okay.
Yeah.
We can go into that. We can go into that.
I think for me, it's like very similar to what we talked about, like as far as our parents, you know, and growing up with always having a sense of looking appropriate and dressing well, but also I was raised a Catholic, and so I had to wear very early on about ties and blazers and sweaters, and just being very conscious of, you know, looking and dressing every day for school, and, you know, along with going to church. And so I think it was also my parents growing up, them both being very stylish. But I think for me, it's my father. I remember my father teaching me and my older brother how to iron our shirts. You know, kind of deal. Thinking about, he was very much about how we would prepare as far as lay out our clothes, iron our clothes the night before. You know, when we get up, we shower, get ready, and get dressed. Like, he very much, I feel like really my influence was really around him.
So good.
And one of the things I did look forward to is that at the beginning of every school year, you know, having to be able to go, you know, clothes shopping, you know, with my parents. And I always look forward to getting stuff for the new school year, you know, and that also, you know, direct me as far as thinking about as far as looking well. And also, quite frankly, some of the feedback that I got, you know, because even though it was very obvious that some boys took more attention to how they looked when they went to Catholic school versus others, and then getting that acknowledgement and recognition to like, hey, David, you know, how do you get your tie that way, or that kind of thing. So I think all of that was really, for me, is an early inspiration, and, you know, just about looking well and dressing well and having appreciation for that.
Right.
That, you know, I love your story too as well. You know, that's well, again, that is missing, yes, because unfortunately, with this day and time, we don't have a lot of fathers in the home, you know, to be that example, you know, and to set that standard for their, you know, for their children, you know. And it's really unfortunate. But, you know, hey, moms that are doing it, you know, as single, you know, take some points, okay? You know, teach your young men these things. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, if you want them to learn that, if you want them to be not so-called with the pants below the ass and, you know, what have you, that's a whole nother topic, you know. At the end of the day, whole nother topic.
I really think a lot of guys are emulating each other also. You know, they all have the same haircut, and they all have the same sneaker brands, and they all have the same way that they sag their jeans or their pants, and, you know, proud of it. You know, before I relocated to Philadelphia, I was shocked to see sagging culture has just taken over.
Yeah, it has.
And it used to be, it was coming just above the crack. Now it's to the crack. Now it's below the crack.
Right.
And when I left New York and moved to Philadelphia a couple of years ago, it was actually coming down in the front too. So now you got the sack and the crack out.
Right.
And I just thought, you know, our grandparents must be rolling around, and the elders,
can you imagine?
ancestors must be rolling in their graves. Like, where is your dignity? Where is your
And
it's a certain, I hate this, certain type, because you still got, you know, the brothers who will dress like grown ass men, versus those who want to emulate the prison couture, as I call it.
Right. Yeah, prison couture. I like that.
You know, which is that whole thing of, and I know JB saying like the father's not. A lot of people, their father is in the home, but it's just this whole thing of they're emulating the tough thug style of this is what it looks to be hard, man, out in these streets and ain't nobody messing me. And I'm like, no, you know, you can still be a man and dress well.
Right.
You know, belts do exist.
Right.
Thank you. It's suspenders too.
Right. All of us should not see your draws.
Right.
So that's only be for those who are
privy.
But you know, here's the thing. I think they want us to see them because they intentionally wear the brightest colors, or it is so much bubble hanging out. They want to be seen.
Right.
So it's not an accident.
Right. Yeah, I totally believe that too. I mean, because you know what you're doing. You know what you're winning.
Yeah.
Let me say, just one quick one. We got to go to a quick break coming up. But to the point about that, even in the fashion line, this line of the fall fashion, and I think I sent it around to everybody. They are actually making the designs to support that idea.
That's
and
correct.
I was like, these guys are walking down the runway, and I was like,
that's correct.
What the hell? Yeah. What is this? But we can dig in that a little bit more when we come back for this quick break. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight with our wonderful guests. We'll be right back talking some more fashion and hopefully pulling the pants over your ass.
Today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. She say our mamas come from Queens over there. That means that we royalty.
I don't need you to love me.
Afternoon. I need me a wife.
Even if we have to part, you and me, us have one heart.
I don't need.
Get off my land!
You.
I write you every day. Daddy! Nothing but death can keep me from it.
Oh, Miss Celia.
You must ain't got no kinfolk around these parts.
All I had was my sister. She was the only one ever loved me. I'm gonna hold my head up. I'm gonna put my shoulders back.
It's time for you to see the world.
There's gonna be some changes made.
Put it on. This ain't me.
Hush. We need to look like we belong. Let's see this smile and come. Oh, sweet and loving God.
Showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to.
Now we're talking.
Hey,
Dear Celie, we are more than just kings and queens. We are at the center of the universe.
oh yes, I am.
And we're back. Oh my gosh, I have got to give a hand. Wow. I mean, all the rest of the commercials were good, but Color Purple, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's so moving even at this point, you know what I mean? And just the way that I think they arranged the trailer, you know, it's very moving, you know. So yeah, I can't wait. I mean, hurry up, Christmas, get here. Okay. But anyway, digging back in. So I know we left off with talking about pants over the ass, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on beyond it. So your inspirations, okay, and this, are you guys going to be more designing options, or are you still going to just kind of do just I would say dressing men as they come to your
we don't design. We will occasionally work with designers.
Okay.
We'll partner with people who do it best and do it well. And we will tell them what we want or ask, can we, you know, have a twist on something you've already done?
Okay.
And then they will give it to us. And if they can't, then we'll find somebody who can.
Okay.
But we basically curate, you know, our spaces with the products that we collect, assemble, locate, find in the marketplace. And we offer it to our clients that way.
Yeah, one of the things that we always are trying to do is basically identify brands or designers, a lot of times either through social media, through word of mouth, that really don't have, because we're based mainly here in Philadelphia, and so really don't have a really strong Philadelphia presence. And so that way we really try to focus on introducing brands or designers to our clients, you know, who are customers who may not be familiar with them. So we're always trying to look for things that, you know, are somewhat unique and different, or have a twist on something, a common theme or classic menswear look that's going to make it unique and different. One of the things that, you know, we thought about with Armour, it's really about, you know, finding pieces that will really support or really complement something that already exists in your wardrobe. You can come to Armour and basically find something head to toe, but ideally it's like, oh, I'm going to this party, have this event. I really want something, a nice little shirt or a jaunty hat or some type of accessory, or I'm going on a vacation. I need some new swimwear, you know, really just things, again, really just depending on what's happening, an event, or if you're traveling, you know, you really, that's your Armour is really your go-to for that type of, those types of situations.
Gotcha.
Where do you go find the creators? Is social is it I don't want to get too much into your business like that. I don't want to, you know what I'm trying to get at. But do you hear from do you go on social media? Do you hear from, you know, mutual friends or do you go to events where there's up and coming, you know, stylists that are coming up, or how do you go about that?
You know, JB, you really are a deep diver. You go in, you really do. Very good question. We actually go into the marketplace. We actually allow ourselves to find out what's not available right now, and we go and find someone who can give it to us. When you have a specialty shop, like a boutique, a smaller brand that you're selling to the general public, you want to have a niche. You're part of a niche market by definition. So you need to be able to offer things that are just not readily available to everybody else. So that's what we try to do. And we keep our ears to the ground. And we're always looking for innovative designers to give us, whether it's us on vacation, traveling, you know, just hanging out, meeting new people. We're always looking to connect with new people, even young designers who are coming out of school. You know,
a prime example is what you had the picture of the guy with the afro, and that's Shimono. So we came across this designer who basically, he's based in Paris, but he's from Burkina Faso originally. So just really came across on social media. I reached out to him, we started interacting, and basically he has a small factory in Burkina Faso where he produces a lot of this. And so to Eric's point, you know, this is just a take on something he already created. We put our little spin on it. We also select the fabrics. And so therefore, it's really made exclusively one of a kind for Armour Philadelphia. And so it's really cool that we're able to find designers like that who, to Eric's point, are able to really create something that's unique and different for that we can sell. Again, able to differentiate us from other shops in particular
Exactly.
that are available online.
Exactly.
Give me a kimono.
Yeah.
I know. I know, that's right.
It's good at the man.
Yes, totally. There's a whole video too on how to. It's a little intricate as far as like how to wrap it around and everything, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Wow.
Wow.
We're definitely gonna, I mean, be honest, we're gonna have to be in touch with you guys for advertising pieces to promote, things out here for you guys. We would love to do that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I do have a question for you as far as accessories, okay, and the move toward lots of accessories, change and what have you. But my one thing, which I love the idea, what do you guys think about the pearls now, and introducing the pearls into our fashion?
I think it's pretty cool.
Okay.
When we first started, the whole movement was about bow ties and jaunty little pork pie hats and fedoras,
right,
and bolo ties and scarves and neckerchiefs,
right.
And now it's just, again, 10 years, because we're celebrating 10 years in the business. It tickles us every now and then when we're talking about the things that we see out and about, and how more guys are getting more comfortable just wearing, certain accessories that they may not have worn before.
Okay.
And it just speaks to where we are at this time in our lives, having just come out of COVID, what I'm finding when I'm out and about, and I engage a lot of guys too, when I'm just talking to people. People want more comfort. They want the comfort that they found or rediscovered when they were home when we had the lockdown, right? So now that we're, creeping back out into the world again, they want very much to maintain that sense of comfort.
Right.
For some guys, they're starting to learn it's okay to wear certain accessories other than, a watch.
Right.
It's okay to wear a pearl choker or pearl necklace.
Right.
And you can still be just as masculine as you ever were.
Exactly.
If that should ever be a question, it's
Right.
not a question. When I was a kid, you couldn't even wear earrings.
That's true.
Considered,
right.
Gay.
Right.
Now you can wear earrings, nose rings, piercings, everything, and the
Right.
color pink is not even a question anymore.
Not even a question.
I mean, it's
They
amazing
tried.
to me.
They tried it with Jonathan Majors. They tried it. They tried it.
He looked amazing.
He
That's
did.
That spread. He looked
did.
absolutely
He
amazing.
did.
He absolutely amazing. And
Well,
I feel part of it has to do a lot too, as far as where it's becoming comfortable in your own skin. And I feel a lot of times with young people, we talk about how young people may not have like the father figure, someone at home, but with social media and celebrities, I feel that you see how a lot more athletes now they're hiring stylists now, and it's all about they're dressing very differently now. And I think that a lot of young guys are taking cues from those athletes, as far as dressing and thinking about it. Case in point, if you see athletes rocking pearls, and it's like young guys say, okay, I can rock pearls as well too. Or I just want to wear pearls. I feel that it's really cool that how the younger generation now, as far as genderless dressing is becoming very, very common in the norm. But again, as far as pearls are cool, but again, I think with any fashion trend, it's not for everyone,
Right.
Yes.
And I feel that's one of the things is that you have to really get a sense of, what works for you, what doesn't, and then knowing that, hey, that trend may look good on someone else, but may not work for me for whatever reason.
Right.
Because I know the first time I saw guys wearing pearl necklaces, I clutched mine.
One thing is you mentioned about I have to give it to Dwayne The Rock. I mean, especially on the last year on the Oscars.
Oh, he looked amazing, didn't he?
I mean, and with him being, I think, what most world considers the ultimate in masculinity for society today, I appreciate him taking the stance that he will say that I'm me, and I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. Forget the rest of y'all. You know, I mean, at the end of the day. So what that kind of leads me into saying real quick is getting you guys' opinion on the flow fashions. In other words, these different fashions that we see a lot of gentlemen wearing now, with the flowing garment or the tail. I mean, the trains, and you know, and all this added to their jackets and things like that. How do you feel about that trend?
How to dress?
I mean,
the other dress too, right?
I'm not really sure if that's a trend or if that's something that's mandated for the theme of an event, like we just had the Met Gala, right?
Right, exactly.
So I'm not really seeing a lot of guys walk around, you know, with trains at you know, at venues like that. But I think it's fanciful, it's decorative, it's art, it's artistic.
Yes.
I think, you know, we see this young brother who is amazing, this Little Nas X, and he seems to be able to do almost anything on the red carpet, off the red carpet.
Right.
But I think people have to understand a performer, an artist like him, he couldn't have done it had it not been for Prince before him and Little Richard before him, and so many others who pushed the boundaries of what it meant to be, you know, a fashionable, stylish, you know, man out in the world.
Right.
You know, and I don't even understand why people don't do a deeper dive for, hey, where did they get their inspiration from?
Exactly.
Because you know, if I'm not mistaken, there were a lot of athletes at this most recent Met Gala, and they got right into the spirit of things,
right?
You know? And they were comfortable with it, and that's amazing. It's a beautiful thing to see.
I think part of it is very much on trend now, and you know, you basically see a lot more stylists, and I think it's just now that a lot of athletes, if you want to be fashion forward and be, you know, more, that's the big deal now. So yes, but I think it's great that this basically now that, you know, people have options. You know, if I want to wear a skirt, I can wear a skirt. If not, you know, all that, you know, glitter, nothing, thong, whatever works.
Kilt,
kilt, all that. So.
If you're gonna wear the kilt, you got to wear it right.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. Going back to, like, you know, not all trends and fashions for everyone. So you got you know what works for you. That's
I have always wanted to wear a kilt, but I'm just like, oh, I think my little ankles are too skinny.
Yeah,
but who knows?
Yeah, I don't have to. I would thought for the same. I don't have to ask for it. So
I got you. I got both of you covered on this. Parnell, David, you wear a nice boot to cover up all that situation.
Right. Okay.
A nice boot.
Nice boot.
Yeah,
you're good to go.
Now, are you
going to wear a true kilt or a true kilt?
Listen, if I'm gonna wear a kilt, ain't gonna be no drawers up under it. That's
that's how you're supposed to wear it.
You wear a kilt.
Right.
He's giving away all the secrets.
But this, I gotta tell this.
Sure.
When I was off Broadway, and I was staying at the homie's place in Brooklyn.
Oh,
and
God.
You know, because I had to do a little fashion thing, and this is the first time I ever bought a pair of joggers. Because normally, like, you know, I was like, oh, this is too much booty being shown at these pants. I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. He's like, yeah, you can. I'm like, oh, Lord.
You look good in them too.
Thank you.
I don't, and I'm so glad you brought that up. I know for a fact most men don't realize just how good they look because they don't necessarily a lot of guys don't take the time to look behind to see what's going on back here.
Right.
They have a mirror in the bathroom, maybe, but they don't all necessarily have a full-length mirror or a 3-panel mirror where they can see all different aspects of their body. I think it's so important for men to get comfortable that they have an ass, you know, and it's okay if your ass is nicely packaged in your pants and not hidden with all this fabric. You know, just
you want to look as good leaving the room as you do entering the room.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. We got to go to a quick break, real quick, and then we'll go right back to continue
this conversation.
Exactly.
Can you guys? I know normally we let guys go, but can you guys stay for the rest?
Oh yeah, totally can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back after this break, guys. Yeah.
Every magnetic force that is pulling me down.
Yes.
Oh, that was a little advertisement for Parnell that he did for you guys last week. Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. By all means. But anyway, I know we got to kind of bring it to somewhat of a close. We have a few more minutes here. We can get a little bit more questions in. But go ahead. I know you have
One last question. And for those entrepreneurs that are now wanting to get in the business of fashion or any type of business that are marketing or whatever, they're trying to get into whatever industry, what is your advice to those young entrepreneurs who are wanting to go at it on their own? What is your advice? And both of y'all can answer at the same time.
Yeah, I feel for me, it's like when I thought about this, I think it's all about realizing, knowing what you do not know and making sure you get that information. I realized that, yes, even though I may have a master's degree and, had years of experience on the business side, the retail side, I felt was very important for me to get, some understanding knowledge. That's why I went back to FYT, took some courses. Also, Penn here in Philadelphia has some courses for entrepreneurs as far as just things as far as doing a business plan, basically determining how you're going to set up your business, all those kinds of things. So I think it's very important that, making sure that you do your research and spending some time, to do your research, as opposed to saying that I have this great idea and I'm just going to start selling online, but making sure you have all the information, what it takes to actually really run a business. So.
Right. And let me just dovetail on what David is saying. Have a plan and don't take no for an answer.
Yes.
Even this man had no experience in it. And as much as of a shock as it was to everyone in his circle and his family and his friends and his coworkers, he was adamant about doing this. And, when you love someone and when you work with someone and when you want to support someone, that's what you're supposed to do, support them. And so watching it grow from just a little kernel of an idea in his head to, this brand, this decade long, menswear and accessories brand with a very strong female following, by the way. Wow. Crossing all different kinds of age demographics and racial demographics as well. It's amazing. And I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud that he stuck to his guns and he did the damn thing,
Oh, wow. Those words are very, very inspiring there. To be committed. And it's wonderful, wonderful to hear that. It just, wow. It gives me goosebumps hear that, but you gentlemen are our inspiration. And thank you so much, for taking the time. You guys have got to come back.
Yeah. We would love it. We would love it. We're celebrating 10 years this year, and we're just so excited to be able to be a part of this groundbreaking podcast. And we're so thrilled and excited for you guys. This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Really, really appreciate it too. Thank you.
Glad to have you guys. And I have a couple of my own little items that I've gotten from Armour.
Yes, you do.
That's right.
From draws to bow ties to
and more coming your way.
More coming, yes. I'm gonna get a kimono, at least one.
Oh yes, totally.
We're going to get one too.
Like I said, we'll have to talk offline about maybe doing some branding with you guys or whatever the case may be. But we would love to do that. As a lead in sponsorship, because hey, the word's out there. I'm telling you, the truth behind the truth is the truth behind the truth. And even what you guys have shared tonight is a layer of the truth behind the truth. From the way you developed and became who you individually are, from your parental side and what you saw your parents do, and how all of those truths, made you become who you are. And that's one of the beautiful things that I love about our platform. There's all many levels of truth, but the main thing is to find your truth within it. When we develop the truth behind truth, we want people to do that. We want people to know that they are authentic. And your authenticity is what gives you the drive to be in a business for 10 years, and to stick with it and not leave from that particular position, but say, I'm going to do this. And like you said earlier, which is so proud, do not accept a no. No,
right.
No, it's not an option.
That's right.
It's not an option. When you know that you're an entrepreneur, no is not an option, and you run into them, but no, your no is my yes. That means I've got to plug a little further.
If we can just have everyone check out the website, www.armour, ARMOUR, Philadelphia.com. and on Instagram, Armour ARMOUR _
Okay.
and I am Fabric of a Man. FABRICOFAMAN man.
Yeah, I think we were running it on a ticker, but we'll make sure that
cool.
we get it. That is, yeah, I think he had it on the ticker for you and that. But anyway, I know we got to bring it to a close. But guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Like I said,
thank you very much.
This is great.
And hey, we send energy and good vibes to your direction for continued success. You know, and I'm ready to see your guys look these people on the red carpet. Okay. Oh, God, hey, look, they got Armour to do this. This is Armour's designs. You know what I mean? Hey, it's all possible. But anyway, have a beautiful night, and we will be in touch, for other things. But come back and join us again.
Yeah, we will. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And Parnell, see you in 2 weeks, man. We can't wait.
Can't wait.
Beautiful.
Right.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Hey, take everything you can. Go buy some fashion. Look good. And ladies, get ready for Father's Day. You got a father, got a husband, got a son, got a brother. All right. Get in touch with these gentlemen about Father's Day. All right. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth. Have a beautiful night.